Hello students, welcome back. So in the last class we have discussed about the services of operating system in elaborated form. So for now we have to deal with the types of operating system. Without further ado, let's start. So here you can see there are 5 types I have mentioned. If you refer some of the other books or some internet and all, there you may get 6, 7, 8 many types. So these are the main 5 types of the operating system. As I have mentioned, batch operating system, time sharing operating system, distributed operating system and network operating system, and the last one is real time operating system. These are the 5 types of operating system. So as you know the definition or the working of the operating system, which is the interface between the computer user and the computer hardware. So how these 5 types of operating system and what are these, we will discuss for today's class. Okay. So now let me discuss about batch operating system. Here the batch operating system, the name itself tells us that there are batches. So if I say batch here, batch are nothing but those are individual jobs. Those jobs are collected in the form of batches. Those batches will be provided to the operating system and perform the operation. But here this batch operating system is a very old scenario. There one person will be there, he will interact with the computer. It means that this type of operating system does not interact with the computer directly. Okay, let us understand this point. There is an operator or there is a human, man or woman, whatever. That operator takes jobs and he will provide them to computer system. Here how he will take the jobs and how it will be by using the punch cards. There are old scenarios there, punch cards will be there. One punch card represents one program. Getting my point? Similar types of punch cards he has to collect and make them into a batch. So by using those batch, he will provide those punch cards to the CPU and he will perform the operation whatever the program has written in the form of punch cards. Okay. Now see, for example, any operating is there. Okay, I will take a very simple example to explain the batch operating system. Say for example, here it is on card. Okay, this is also on card, this is also card, like that many cards will be here. Say if I say punch cards are the nothing but those are the cards which has having holes in it. Okay, so the programs has written in the form of punch cards and those punch cards are collected. Say for example, this punch card represents A, means some operating arithmetic operation. This is some roots and all, square roots, quadratic equation. I will write Q, and this is also Q, this is also A, this is A, this is A. So what I am going to tell you is, here what he will do, the operator will collect the punch cards in a different fashion. That is, he will first came punch card is A, second came Q, third one is Q, fourth one is A, fifth one is A, sixth one is A. He will collect A all together and make batches of this A. Okay, this is one batch. Now this is one batch. You can call it as a batch 1. Okay, this way he will collect the punch cards in the form of batch. So I will call it as a batch. So batch, this is batch 1, and what he will do, this is Q becomes batch 2. So like this he will collect the different programs in the form of batches. Those batches will be provided to the CPU, then it will compute and it will give the output. This is how batch operating system is used in the scenario. So here job 1 is there, job 2 is there, job 1 may be arithmetic operation, job 2 may be some other operation. Same form of jobs he will collect in the form of batch and give to the operating system, and that batch is given to the CPU. That the operating system itself, there is intermediate person will be there that you can call. So that batches are given to the CPU and he can perform the or CPU can perform the operation on it, it will give the output. So you can read, this type of operating system does not interact with the computer directly. There is an operator which takes similar jobs having the same requirement and group them into batches, as I have told before. It is the responsibility of the operator to sort the jobs with the similar needs. I have already shown with the pictures like this. Okay. So here, so he has to decide whether this picture or whether this batch is same kind or not. If it is not, he will collect into the other format. Okay. Fine. Say now this is a batch 1. Okay. So this is batch 2. So user or operator has to decide the same kind of operation, and he has to collect in the group and then make them into a batch. That batch is provided to the CPU. CPU will execute the particular operation on it. Okay. This is how batch system was used to. Now what are the advantages of this batch operating system? So it was very easy to guess or know the time required for any job to complete. Okay. We can guess the time on which time it are going to execute completely. So processors of the batch system know how long the job would be when it is in the queue, because we already know that these batch 1 has the same operation because all are same type. So we can easily guess the time required to compute that. Multiple users can share the batch system. Okay. More than one user can share the batch, because say they have to collect the each batch, then they have to stay in the queue. Once his turn come, he will go and he will make sure that execution is doing there. Okay. This is how we can use. The idle time for the batch system is very less. Obviously it is very less. It is easy to manage large work repeatedly in a batch system. Okay. If it is a 1000 cards are there, but all 1000 cards of same batch. If it is a 5 cards are there with the other batch, you can use. So this is how batch operating system is used. But some disadvantages are also there. Disadvantages are like this: the computer operates should be well known with the batch system. If the person doesn't know about how to make a batch, that is a big problem in the batch operating system. Batch systems are hard to debug. Once error came into the batch operating system, though it is the same kind of programs will be there in a batch, so if it is an error, so it is very difficult to debug that error. Okay. It is sometimes costly. If one batch I am considering with the same program, but program is very lengthy in the punch card, that become a very costly. Okay. The other jobs will have to wait for a unknown time if any job fails. It means that, say for example, if only A came and Q came, but there are no other punch cards are there. So we have to wait for batches to come, or we have to wait for the processes to come. Once the processes came, then we have to sort accordingly. If it is not coming, we have to wait a longer time. So this is also one of the. So if Q processes are coming but A are not coming, okay, so we have to wait for that. Or if Q is coming, once A came, again Q came, again A came, like this in alternate order. If the processes are coming, then we have to wait for making them into a group. So that is also a disadvantage of the batch operating system. Okay. Here diagram you can see jobs are there. Jobs are nothing but same kind of programs. So those are collected in the form of batch with a person, that is known as the operating system right here. Those batches are given to the CPU and he can execute the code. Okay. Examples are given here. Payroll system is there. You can understand the payroll system and bank statements. It means that if the account section is there, what the banker will do, account forms he will keep one side, okay, withdrawal form he will keep other side, like that different kind of activity he can arrange. So these are the example for the batch operating system, payroll system and bank systems and etc. you can call. So the next one is time sharing operating system. It is also one of the important operating system. Here each task is given some time to execute it, so that all the tasks work smoothly. For example, we will assign the time quantum for the each task. Okay. After lapsing that time, other processes get into execution. After lapsing that time, again same, like in the repeated fashion we can arrange. So that is known as a time sharing operating system. It means that on that particular time only that operating system is going to work. That is very simple. Each user gets the time of a CPU as they use a single system. These systems are also known as multitasking system. Timing systems will be there, time counter we will set. Say for example, what I can say best example for this. So I can call that we will set alarm, right? For that particular time, if you will set that alarm has to sound up to 2 minutes, then what it will do, up to 2 minutes it will ring and it will stop. Okay, that operating system, that kind of operating system we call it as a time sharing. It means any process after that 2 minutes other process can started execution, but that alarm will stop. So this is how time sharing operating systems will be. Best examples are there, later I will show that examples of time sharing operating system, but this is an just example, alarm as an example. These systems are also known as a multitasking. The task can be from a single user or a different user also. It means time sharing operating system can accept the task from a single user, or it can accept the task from the many users. That is, nothing is there. The time that each task gets to execute is called a quantum. I have already told in the my words that time quantum we call. It means whatever the time we have set to execute the particular process, that is known as a quantum. After this time interval, it is over. Say for example, if you are having a washing machine in your home, that washing machine will work up to that particular time, and after it will make a noise or it will make a notice sound. Okay, it means that it has completed its work, correct? Like this you can take many examples, or the traffic signal operating system is there. After 90 seconds it will give, after 90 seconds it will say the red signal will go and yellow symbol will come. After that, after 2-3 seconds green signal will come. So how it will be? It is because of the operating system. Okay, advantage of that, each task gets an equal opportunity, obviously. Okay, because once the process completed that its task in a particular time, the next process will get the CPU and it will start the execution. So every task will get the equal opportunity. Fewer chances of duplication of a software. It is a, you cannot duplicate the time sharing operating system easily. Okay, CPU idle time can be reduced. Idle time in the sense CPU stopped its working, that we can call it as idle time, or processes are not allocated to anybody, or you can call one process is executing but other processes are not getting processors. So that is called as idle state. So that is reduced in the time sharing operating system. Okay, disadvantage, reliability problem is there. One must have to take care of the security and integrity of user programs and the data. We have to take care of the security that is there in the real time or time sharing operating system, because we have set the particular time, and that particular time only that task has to execute. If the time is lapsed, other process will come and it will start the execution of the other process. So integrity in the sense we have to make sure that particular time, within the given time only, that process or that program has to execute. Okay, that is problem is there. Data communication problem is there. Example for the time sharing operating systems are Unix, multi-CS, and or you can call also it is Windows also one of the example for the time sharing. So now distributed operating system is there. The next one is distributed operating system in the sense these operating systems are laid into networks. Okay, that is not existed in our single PC like that. Okay, but always those processors will be there in the, or these will be operated with the help of network or servers, you can call that kind of operating system. We call it as a distributed operating system. These types of the operating system is a recent advancement in the world of a computer technology and are being widely accepted all over the world, and the two with a great pace. Various autonomous, this is not required. So here major point is here it is there. Here in this operating system, it will be shared communication network will be there. It means that network is shared with all other PCs. Say for example 10 PCs we are having, but all 10 PCs are connected with the same network. means everyone can operate those programs with the help of the computer, but those all are shared communication network will be there. That kind of shared communication networked computers, we call it as a distributed operating system. Independent systems possesses their own memory unit CPU. It means all 10 CPU have its own memory, but operating system is same for all. That is why we call it as a distributed operating system. Okay. So, you can read these other points. It is a very simple points are there, how files will be accepted or how files will be accessed, and why it is called as a distributed. One more point I have to mention, that is independent systems possess their own memory and CPU, that I told. These are referred to as loosely coupled systems or distributed system. Both are same. Okay. It means that all systems are connected to the network, and that network is shared communication will be there into the network, and each system has their own memory and own CPU, own processor. Those kind of systems we call it as a distributed operating system. You can see the picture right here. See, operating system is shown in between, okay, center of the picture. So, all are connected to its own memory and CPU. This square or rectangle box represents that is a CPU memory disk, means there is a PC here also, here also, here also, here also, like this. Okay. Advantage of this distributed operating system are failure of one will not affect the other network communication. In this picture, if the first square or this first device, if it is failed, it will not affect to others. Okay. So, that is advantage. Electronic mail increases the data exchange speed. Obviously, distributed system, what we will do, that email communication will be there. So, no need to take back or stop the working and you can do other works. No. You can just send a mail to others and they can understand what is happening. So, that email we can call electronic mail. There is no physical work of that. Because there is no physical work to send a message, that speed will increase. Since resources are being shared, communication is highly fast and durable. Okay. In this distributed operating system, obviously the fast is more, or data communication can be transmit with highest speed. Okay. Load on a host computer reduces. Load on a host computer reduces in the sense, if I say network must has the host. Okay. The all load comes onto the host, but here we have called it distributed. So, every PC having their own CPU, own memory, own disk. Because of this, load is distributed. Load in the sense number of processes accepted and to work to execute. Okay. Here that programs or working on those programs is distributed to all other PCs. That is why the load will be decreased. These systems are easily scalable, as many systems can be easily added to the network. Scalable in the sense, here if you observe this picture, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 systems are connected to the operating system, and you can also extend the number of devices which are connected to the operating system. You can make 10, you can make 12, 30, 40. So, that is called as scale of the operating system, we can increase. So, it is called as scalable. Okay, and easily systems can be added to the network. That is, delay in data processing reduces. Delay is not there because all other having the common shareable network, that is communication is shared. So, delay will be, so here you can see I have highlighted that shared communication network will be there. Because of this shared communication network, delay will be reduced. Okay. So, now the disadvantage of this distributed operating system is that failure of the main network will stop the entire communication. As I told, if this is a system is there, one main network will be there. If that main network goes down, entire system goes down. That is one of the disadvantage of the distributed operating system. To establish a distributed operating system, the language which is used are not well defined yet. Here language in the sense, to communicate with the server, that language will come. You don't worry about this language. About this means computer programming language will be there for the distributed operating system. That is not properly planned yet, because some of the programmer will write to other language, some of the program will write in other language. So, that problem is there. There is no common language for this distributed operating system. These types of systems are not readily available as they are very expensive. This is also one of the disadvantage, these are very expensive because these are not readily available, no. So we have to say and we have to implement themselves and we have to give the tender to them, then only they will provide that distributed operating system. Because of this, cost is more. Not only that, the underlying software is highly complex and not understood well yet. Okay, this is little bit complex because of many systems are using the same OS. Examples of distributed OS are Locus, one of the best example for the distributed operating system. You can find other examples also, that is left to you. And the network operating system, don't confuse with the distributed operating system and the network operating system. In the distributed operating system, there is a communication, shared communication will be there. Here you will understand that these systems run on a server and provide the capability to manage data, users, groups, security applications and other networking function. It means client server communication will be there in the network OS. Client means client will request, server will provide the result. Okay. These type of OS allow shared access to files, printers, security application and other networking functions over small private network. Don't get confused here, shared access of files means over a small private network only it is available, that is known as the network operating system. Accessing files, you can access, say for example, in our college 2 or 3 PCs are connected to the same network. Okay. In our office 3 computers are there, 1 laptop and 2 computers, all are sharing the LAN cable, same network of our college. So from computer number 1 also we can give the printout of the same printer, computer number 2 can also give the print from the same computer to the same printer. Okay. Computers are different but only one printer is there, but everywhere you can give the printout, it will give because all are shared printer is there. Like that, this is known as the network operating system. Okay, this is one of the major points here in the network operating system are users are well aware of the underlying configuration, because users know that what are the configuration we have made, which printer is connected to what computers. So that is, it is one of the most important aspect of the computer or network operating system. So now all other users within the network, their individual connection etc., that they knows that. So this is called as a tightly coupled. Distributed operating system is always called as a loosely coupled, but network operating system is called as tightly coupled. Okay. So picture you can see like this, as I already told, the client 1, client 2, client 3, client 3. The definition itself I have mentioned, client server request, like that server will provide the result. Okay. So advantage, you can see highly stable centralized servers will be there, security concerns are handled through servers, means server will not allow some of the points which are secured or which are locked. New technology and hardware upgradation are easy. If any new technology came, it is very easy to upgrade for this network OS. Server access is possible to remotely from the different location and types of furniture. If the same network, private network is shared with others, from others location also we can access these systems. So that is the advantage of the network OS. And disadvantages are servers are costly. User has to depend on a central location of for most operation, because the host will be there. User has to depend on that. Maintenance and updations are required regularly. Okay. Examples are like this: Unix, Linux, Macintosh, Novell, NetWare, BSD, etc. These are the some of the examples for network OS. And the real-time operating systems are very important right here. These like a robotics we are using, those robotics all are operating with the help of real-time operating system. These type of OS servers real-time system, the time interval required to process and respond to input is very small. This time interval is called response time. Here in the real-time operating system, response time is very less, process time is there, response time is very less into that. So two types of real-time operating system will come. Okay, real-time operating system in the sense home appliances OS will come. We are using for our daily usage. So those are known as real-time operating system. So in that we have two types. One is soft real-time operating system and hard real-time operating system. Okay, two types of real-time. Hard real-time operating system is there. These OSs are meant for applications where time constraints are very strict. Okay, hard real time in the sense there is a particular time bound will be there, within that time only it has to execute the program. If the time goes down, that process will not be considered to execute, that will goes down. So these systems are built for saving like automatic for built for saving life, like automatic parachutes or airbags which are required to readily available in case of any accident. Say for example, we have purchased a new car which is having the airbags are there. If you see security purpose, our all cars right now having airbags. If any accident is happened, automatically that airbag will be opened and those will save our lives. So how it can understand it is a accident is happening? There is a operating system, that operating system is a real time operating system. Within that hard real time in the sense that particular time it has to open, if it is not opening then he will go die. So that hard real time says that within the given time constraint it has to operate, that known as hard real time OS. And soft real times are, it has a time bound, but some it is not a strict time bound, you can use with a little more less or little more extra time you can use in the soft real time system. Okay, as I given the example, cars are there, there is a airbags will be there. How to open that airbag, that operating system understand if accident is happened. Okay, and also you can take the examples like artificial intelligence OS will be there, that all automated systems are there. No, all automated systems are nothing but real time operating system. Advantages are maximum consumption. Okay, task shifting, focus on application, real time OS in the embedded system. Embedded system in the sense already it is built in the system. Say again I can give as the example like automated washing machines will be there, sensors will be there, those can known as our ACs are there. Okay, auto control AC, remote control AC, those are all are real time. Error free memory allocation, these are the real time. Memory allocation, once it is allocated, no necessary of allocating others again and again, that is also advantage of the real time. And disadvantages are like that, limited task you can perform. Okay, you can you cannot use for other works which are, it is for which work it is meant for that only you can use for the real time operating system. Use heavy system resource, real time systems are always use heavy system resources in the sense the meant processor it will use, memory it will use, always it is go on using the memory for changing the data. So complex algorithms will be there, means algorithm pre-written programs will be there for the real time operating system, but that is very difficult to write, that complex algorithm will be there. Device driver and interrupt signals will be there. Thread priority, these are very difficult in case of RTOS. So finally example for the real time operating systems are scientific experiments, and you can search in the Google what are the real time operating system and you can get some other information according to this. Okay, examples of real time operating systems are scientific experiments, medical imaging. Say for example X-ray is there, now MRI scanning will be there, medical resonance imaging you can call. All scanning technology are nothing but there is operating system, it will find whether something is present in the body and it will mention there. So that is known as a real time operating systems are using there. Weapon system, usually in the army sector also RTOS will be there. Robots, beginning only I have explained robotics always real time OS we will use. Air traffic control system and etc. This is all about today's class. For your question is again, question is nothing but write and explain, and if you have to write, if I say that will become your notes also. Okay, and for you can understand also, write and explain, types of OS, whatever I have given in the video that you need to write. Fine. Okay, this is enough for the class now.